I'm in my zone, on the road to the Super Bowl. Every game on the schedule crucial, it take a toll. It don't matter if we at home or on the road. You try to tackle, I'll truck a sucker and take it soul. I'm staring at 4th and goal, gotta find an open hole. A linebacker just close a hole where I'm supposed to go. So now I'm thinking my centers are all pro, so I trust he can make a walk for wherever the ball go. Yeah, there's 5 seconds on the play clock. The crowd was loud, but they stopped. Now it's silent while they watch. They stand off in the red zone. All I see is red home. Watch me get this touchdown and this W and head home.
Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, to the final Cowboy Game Day Live with your boy Jesse Holley, Skywalker. Still, we're not in person, but I'm gonna do our dap that we always we always do to end this thing, man. Hey, this is the game where it's like put us out of our misery. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just happy to get this thing over with. I'm never a fan of these type of seasons, Jesse. But how we doing, brother?
Yeah, man. It's to quote the great Boys and Men, although we've come to the end of the road, and still I can't let go.
No. Just because we at the end, I ain't letting them go. It's just I want to let go of this season, man. It's been rough. It's been frustrating, and obviously we had the 2020 season, right, where the injuries happened. But I don't think it was as bad, even though the Cowboys actually have a better record. I don't think it was as bad then because it was the first year of McCarthy.
And we were dealing with life then, right? Like life was worse than what we were dealing
with.
COVID
Was, COVID, exactly.
Lockdown. It wasn't really like. We were just happy to have something. It didn't matter what it really was.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? We was inside. Life was life, and we had no idea what was going on, how it would transpire, what tomorrow was going to bring. The walls are closing in on us. We were just happy to talk about football, see a little bit of football, to do something. And so yeah, man. And now when life is kind of back to normal, you kind of could focus more and have the apathy of the team that you're looking at, and so. Yeah, what a long, tough season this was.
And it seemed like every week it was always something, whether it was injuries, whether it was it being in the news, whether it was some drama being made from your front office or players or whatever. It was always something. And just like the Cowboys, the final week, it's still something. I mean, it's some people are upset with the Cooper Rush. Not upset, but are looking at the Cowboys sideways with the Cooper Rush thing. We'll talk about that. You've got the draft position that is on the line today. By the way, Cowboys Nation, if the Cowboys, here's what the Cowboys can be. They can either have the 11th pick as the highest, or they can have the 16th pick as the lowest, depending what happens. To get the 11th pick, they need to lose and have the Colts and 49ers lose as well. And then they will have the 11th pick, according to some over on Twitter. But if they win and other things happen, they can drop all the way down to 16th. So this is one of those weeks where I told you this behind the scenes. I usually wait until the absolute last second to have to root against a loss. You know, I'm just never that type, and or root for the Eagles to win so you can get in type thing. Yeah, this is one of those games where it makes no sense to win the game. It just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make a sense at all, especially now. Like everything about this now, and of course, we can say that sitting in the seats that we sit in. I once sat in the seats that those guys sat in, and I wanted to win every single game because I didn't know what my last game was going to be. I didn't know if I was going to get another contract or whatever it was. So you want to go out there and put your best foot forward and win every one of those games. But as we sit here as analysts and commentators, we can have the privilege of saying how we feel, lose or win in this situation. But winning does the organization no good.
Yeah.
Right. Like winning. If Trey Lance goes out here and he has a phenomenal game and he wins the game, well, that does something for him. Right. It's the other players go out. If Mingo goes out here and he has 10 catches for $150 and 3 touchdowns and they win, that does something for him. But ultimately, for the organization, it goes out and goes, we just dropped down potentially 5 to 6 spots into a place where, that can be the difference of getting a game changer in another project, maybe, or, fall in the CeeDee Lamb again, or you can go to 11 and you can find the next Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
right?
At the end of the day, it's I don't think the 5 slots will kill you, but you literally can, if you can control you getting 11th or 16th, I'm pretty sure with one game, I'm pretty sure you want the 11th pick, right?
And every time you get higher in the draft, there's the potential and opportunity of you turning that into more picks, because there's somebody who wants to come up to that spot. Right? But you never know. Like we're hoping 2025, hope spring eternal, right? We hope no one's in our seats, right? And maybe someone comes up with an offer that they can't refuse, and they say, "Hey, we need to get to that 11th spot. Hey, we're in the 16th spot, and we're going to give you this and some extra picks, and maybe we get that coveted 4th round pick back somehow, some way in the draft." But like the closer you get to that top 10. The more leverage you have, if you want to use that leverage with other teams, maybe trying to move and shake in the draft or move up a couple spots in the draft for a player.
Well, here's what I find interesting, because you brought up Trey Lance. Let's start right there. For those who are not aware, do I got my button? Let me see if I got my breaking news button over here. Breaking news. I think this is it. Trey Lance, according to Jane Slater, is set to start today for the first time since week 2 of 2022. And we were talking about this, and I was thinking here, well, if the Cowboys are trying to secure a better draft pick in the final week, could this be the reason why they're starting Trey Lance? Or is it because the whole Cooper Rush incentive thing, for those who are not aware, if Cooper Rush hits 55.2%, I believe it is, of playing time, he can get an extra $500,000. And some folk are under the impression the Cowboys don't want to pay that. But from what I'm hearing is they can still elect to give him that money anyway. Well,
to break it down, he's already going to get $250,000 because he's playing 44% of the snaps. The additional $250,000 if he played 55% of the snaps, which would have called for him to play at least 65 snaps today. Now, the Cowboys even get to 65 snaps even if he played or not. But yes, to your point, the Cowboys can still opt to give him that other $250,000 that will bring that percentage playing bonus up to $500,000. Will they? I don't know. But he has the $250K already in the bank because he's already played the 44% of the snaps that were required to get that $55K. And now with them going with Trey Lance, he won't get that other $250K unless the Cowboys, in good faith, says, here's $250K.
Right. And this is a question I would imagine they're probably asking Jerry now or Steven or whomever, and they'll likely ask. I don't know if Coach McCarthy honestly had any say in this, to be real. So maybe they can ask him, but I don't know what answer he's going to give you. I do want to know what Jerry has to say, though. I often don't care, but this one, I want to know what went into this decision to now start Trey Lance. You invested a 4th round pick last year, and he's played 20 total snaps, and now you want to play him in the final game, which obviously we all want to see something from him. But why now is a question I want to know, as opposed to you had a great opportunity to do so when Dak went down. I would love to hear his answer on that one.
He's going to give us the Jerry answer, right? He's going to say a bunch of words and never really answer the question and dance around it in some eloquent way. And he's going to end up telling us about, a time back in 1976 when a squirrel ran across the road and his brake light was on. And by the way, he had a gallon of milk in the back seat with a pumpkin pie. And he's going to, right. He's going to just, right. He's going to swerve around the answer when honestly, the truthful answer probably would be to what we alluded to earlier in the segment was they don't want to win this game. And with Cooper Rush, who's already beaten the Washington Commanders, right? That gives you the percentages grows. It grows in the sense of Cooper Rush gives you a greater percentage of beating the Washington Commanders than Trey Lance, right? And knowing that the Washington Commanders still have a lot to play for when it comes to seeding, and Trey Lance hadn't taken a snap since, you said, 2022, a regular season snap since 2022.
As a starter.
As a starter. Like, they're going to come in, Dan Quinn will throw the kitchen sink at him, hopefully confuse him, hopefully have him off kilter, hopefully have him a little bit bewildered and confused and turn the ball over, and they just can't get things started, and they lose the game organically. We wanted to give Trey Lance a last look before we went into the offseason and yada, 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 yada. It's all a bunch of minutia because we know in our heart of hearts, the organization have said there's nothing that they gain by going to win this game. Organizationally, there's nothing that they gain winning this football game. So let's go out here. You might see Deuce Vaughn get a bunch of snaps today. And some other guys we probably haven't seen all year long. They may leave Andrew Booth out there all day long and don't take him out the game and just allow him to get run by all day by Scary Terry. It's the organic things that you see teams do when they know that they don't have anything to gain by winning a football game.
And see, this opens up so many different cans of worms, because if Mike McCarthy truly did not have a say in this, or the biggest voice in this, and this was a Jerry Jones move, et cetera, or front office move, what does that say about him moving forward, right? We just got the report, if you want to call it that. Adam Schefter kind of hedged his bets here, but Adam Schefter prior to the show stated that they did a segment on NFL Live, safe or out, and he said he thinks that they're leaning more towards safe, but this is fluid, and as of right now, we'll have to see in the coming days. Nothing really concrete, just some of the same things we've been hearing. Jerry and them, I'll tell you this, they've done a great job not really giving away one way or the other. One week he might be talking up Mike, the next week is, we'll get there. We don't need to, talk about this now, and we'll see. And Steven is like, we'll see. And the hay is in the barn, right? Nothing today is going to change how they feel about Mike McCarthy. So it's just really confusing. This isn't to me like it was with Jason Garrett, Jesse. When Jason Garrett was at the end of his tenure in 2019, 2020, going to 2020, I think everyone knew he's not coming back. There's no way he's coming back. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was almost 100% sure he was coming back in regards to Mike. Now I'm not sure. I don't know where this is going to go. Where do you think this Mike McCarthy saga is going to turn? I know what you think they should do, but again, a lot of the times as Cowboy fans and analysts, we have to put the Cowboy hat on.
Yeah, I sit with you, and they have done a great job being tight-lipped with this. Because when I hear the hay is in the barn, like that tells me that you come to a conclusion long before you spoke about it, right? And if that was the case, then why not make certain moves within the organization, meaning like, you know what, there was a point in time when you were in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like for a draft pick. If you had already decided that he was right, how long has this thing been bundled up, ready, packaged up, ready to get shipped off somewhere? Yeah. Because if that's the case, if this has been in your, and this is the part that at times frustrates me with the Jones family, because if this has been a conversation, it has been a conversation for them for a while. But if the hay has been in the barn for weeks now, then why not just go ahead and say we're cutting ties or we're extending him? Because if that's the case, then let's go ahead and drop the rest of these games. I'll tell you, guys, I'm never a proponent for tanking, but I'm just talking about from an organizational standpoint. If the hay was in the barn and you were planning on bringing him back, and let's just say you knew this 4 weeks ago, then go ahead and say that he's coming back 4 weeks ago, and then now do all that you can, because ain't nothing coming out of this. You knew what nothing coming out of this, and just go ahead and now fight for, organically or not, however you want to call it, go and get you a top 10 draft pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if those are the things that you're talking about, if he's going to stay, right, then let him stay and allow him to get a greater draft pick. Because if you're going to continue the course that you have for the last 29, 30 years and not really going out and getting free agents in the offseason, then hell, don't let me get a mid-round pick. Let me go get a top pick that's more that's closer to having success than not. And now, again, I can leverage that. I can say, hey, I got a top 10 pick. I don't want to be in the top 10. I can move out of the top 10, maybe move back to 12 or 13 or 14, and now pick up some more picks on the back end, because you gave 2 of my 4th round picks away. I mean, you gave one of my 4th round picks away. You gave the other one away a year ago with Trey Lance. But you gave the 4th round pick away. I can go recoup that, maybe recoup a higher pick. And now I can move and shake and continue to accumulate some more picks. So that's my question: is how long has the hay been in the barn for the Cowboys, for the Jones front office?
Two things to that. One's going to be on the flip side, and one will stay in that lane, and I'll stick right there. Not just the draft picks, but the coaches, right? Like if the hay's in the barn where Mike is returning, you know that. Well, now Mike can talk to his coaches. Now, yes. Hey, Al Harris, we're going to try to retain you. Lunda, the continuity that they want with coaches. Or, hey, we're going to move on from a Mike Solari. Let's start looking at other offensive line coaches or whomever it may be. Where
get a jump start.
Yeah, where Mike came out and said, I don't care about me. I care about my coaches because they don't know what's going on either. And everybody's on 1-year deal. Now, on the flip side of that, if the hay has on there, we shipping out Mike McCarthy. You need to get the jump start on these coaches. Correct. And to hear Steven, and again, he could, and I said this on my show, he could just be lying to us, right? But he came out and said, hey, Steven, have you guys began to start the process of what you're going to do for the coaching decision? He's like, oh, no, we're just focused on the game in front of us. We haven't even given it thought about what we're going to do. And we haven't even set up the time frames to meet with XYZ. And in my head, I'm like, is that negligent, right? Because look at a lot of these other organizations. Now, some of them aren't great organizations, but you already know, hey, we're interviewing Louis Riddick. Hey, we're bringing in whoever, right? Mike Vrabel's on the docket. Ben Johnson that we're looking at. Like, they are starting to do that work. Why not start to do that work behind the scenes? Talk to these agents, right? Because you obviously can't talk to the coaches, I don't think, until the season ends, but you know how it is behind the scenes. There's those handshake agreements, hush, hush. Get ahead of it. Coming out and admitting, we're just going to wait. We'll figure it out as the wind blows. And the last thing you want to happen is we're 5 days into this thing and your top candidates have been hired. And then you figure out, you know what? We're going to move on from Mike. Now let's start the process. It's weird to me. It's weird to me how they're moving. And again, this could be all part of the machine of, hey, man, let's just keep them talking and let's keep it stretched out as long as possible, because no matter who the coach is, it's the Cowboys. And if they're in limbo, teams are going to talk about it, or not organizations, but programs are going to talk about it.
And on top of that, like, even to your point, hiring assistant, because I do believe if you bring Mike back, if that's the case, then Mike's going to have to fire some folks. Mike's going to have to let some folks go, because you can't. Mike's going to have to let some folks go, and some other folks might want to go.
Yeah.
Some other folks might want to be like, you know what?
They've got no contract, so. Yeah,
they might be like, you know what? This situation is toxic. You know what I'm saying? They might bring you back for 3 years, 4 years, but they might fire you after one. I'm going to go somewhere. Like, because you talk about a guy like Al Harris, whose contract is up at the end of this year. What do they do with him, right? Does he want to go? Does someone else look at him and go, hey, I want to bring you over here to be a DC. I want to bring you over here to do this and do that.
Jesse, that's a good point, because remember last year, the Cowboys, they said no to they blocked a lot of, mostly Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn tried to get Lunda Wells to be his O-line coach, try to get Al over, and they blocked it because these guys are under contract. You know who they didn't block? Because old boy don't play like that. The defense coordinator over there now, Joe Witt. I'm pretty sure Joe Witt told them, where's my button at? I wish I Woods block my opportunity to become a defensive coordinator, because he told them straight up multiple times, I want to be a defensive coordinator. I wanted to be here, and now I have an opportunity. You say no, I don't think it was going to end well. So now you can't block nothing, bro. So you're absolutely right. If Al wants to leave, he can go.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so why not go ahead and just say, hey, Mike, we're bringing you back. Hey, priority is bringing Al Harris back. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get Al Harris signed up if we can beforehand. Don't waste time with trying to wait to the last minute to figure out what you're going to do with the head coach, because guys will look around and go, nah, I'm going somewhere else. And now you'll be having to do a whole new staff, a whole new thing. And even with Mike Zim, right? Like, what are we doing? You want him to come back? You want him to stay engaged? You want him to make a decision which way or another? Then hire the head coach and let's start talking about what pieces are we going to put together, so that now this isn't a question of the offseason, and now guys have room to go think about other opportunities in other situations.
Zim probably thinking about spring break with his young shorty. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
She got
At least she's 42 though.
Oh, she's 42?
At least she's 42. Yeah, at least she's 42.
Ain't no way, bro.
They said she's 42.
Have you seen her?
I seen her.
If she 42, bro, she got the fountain youth on her side.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes.
Oh, then that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Then.
Yeah,
I thought it was a Bill Belichick situation.
Nah, they just like he's 60 something and she's 40.
She in her 40s. Never mind.
That's what
She looked like she just graduated from Arizona State or something. I mean,
I know. Sometimes the milk don't age the right way in that section.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying?
Aging, brother, very well.
But some tend to hold on to their youth a little bit longer than others.
Yeah, shouts out to you, man, doing the dang thing over there. Hey, that could be an incentive for Mike Zimmer to dip out too, though. You know, hey man, I got my shorty. She wanna live a stress-free life. Right?
Let's go see the world.
Let's go see the world. Today is kind of an incentive game, though. You know, it's one of those situations where if I hit an extra tackle, an extra sack, a pick, a touchdown, yards, whatever, you're getting that bread. And you've been a part of some of these games around some greats that had to hit, some kind of regular players that like, man, I just need one more set. What? Be real. Be candid. We got a few minutes. This is the last one. So, you know, Mike Zimmer, I don't know if you saw his press conference. He looked over. He said, is this the last conference?
Yeah.
So I'm about to snap. I'm about to go off.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the last one, Jesse. So be real.
Yeah.
What y'all be talking about in that locker room when this come around, man?
So I'll give you a prime example. Miles had an incentive in his contract. Was catches. It was either catches or touchdowns, and he basically was like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell Tony, like, bro, like I need you. Yo, you want an all paid vacation? Like, so it was an all paid vacation if he got the target that he needed to get. So that's the conversation that happens in the locker room. So guys who are going out there that may need, like, say if you need catches or you need touchdowns or you need carries, whatever it may be, you talking to the quarterback like, bro. Like some quarterbacks might just be like, "Nah, I got you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some dudes is like, "Yo, you want the misses anywhere you want to go. I need 8 catches.
I need that.
I don't care what the coverage is. Yo, call 8 hitches audible. Like That's the conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen things like that happen where dudes is like, you know, interception wise. I remember Mike Jenkins needed some interceptions. He didn't get it, but he was like, "Man, I'm jumping every route. I'm jumping every route. I don't care. Well, hey, listen, hey, y'all better be back there because I'm going.
Hey, Barry, you better. Hey, dog.
I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So conversations like that definitely happen in the locker room with guys wanting to meet those incentives, especially if they're close enough, right? If a guy needs, like I said, a touchdown, if a guy needs a pick, if a guy needs a sack or, you know, a couple of receptions or a couple of yards, they definitely in the ears. Even the coaches too. Like they like in the ear of the coach, like, "Yo, coach, what's up, bro?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, "Yo, I know your wife want that. I know she want that, you know what I'm saying, that Birkin bag or whatever. Yo, call an extra blitz. You know what I'm saying? Line me up, my boy." So like that's the conversation that guys are having. Now, I will say it happens more for the guys like that who teams probably aren't going to the playoffs. But when you're in a situation where it's like, "Yo, we need to," it's like, I bet, but let's secure the win first, and then I'll kind of, you know what I'm saying? I'll kind of, you know, brother, love you a little bit and get you what you need. I remember seeing it a couple of years ago with Gronk and Tom Brady. We also seen it when Antonio Brown didn't get his, right? Remember, he was like, "Oh, they ain't trying to let me do this. Pads off. I'm out of here." But normally, if it's a reachable, like off the top of the head right now, I think about Mike Evans. He needs 85 yards to reach 1,000 to have 11 straight season out time with Jerry Rice. I'm sure him and Baker Mayfield are looking at each other like,
this is history.
The wife, she wanted to go to where she wanted to go. She wanted to go to Maldives. Y'all like first class?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're definitely talking to Liam Cohen and everything. Well, check it out. There's no incentives for Cowboy fans, but you can play over on Underdog Fantasy and win some bread, ladies and gentlemen. So quickly, let me get to a couple of my Underdog Fantasy picks this week. We try with money. I don't pick these just to make it hard on myself. I try to find the easiest way to win bread. And I see Brandon Aubrey's name, and I seen 1.5 field goals made, higher or lower. Come on. Brandon Aubrey being kicking 2 field goals every week, bro. Come on, that's higher. That's easy higher. Money.
Easy money.
Take that. Make that
easy
Diddy
money.
bop. Jaden Daniels. This one was a bit different because I wasn't sure if they were going to pull him or not, but apparently they're going to play this thing out. Higher or lower, 272.5 passing plus rushing yards. He has hit that, I feel like, every week for like the last 6 weeks. So
yeah, I would say higher.
Yeah, I want higher as well. Cowboys, they might be trying to jump some routes too to get some incentives. So I feel like he should hit that, but that's the toughest one. Rico Dowdle, I got higher on 59.5 rushing yards. He's been hitting that in the first half damn near. So
yeah, I don't know if Rico's gonna play a lot today. That's just my personal opinion. I think you might see them again. They're trying to secure themselves at 11th pick. So you might see Hunter Lipke and Deuce Vaughn matched up with Trey Lance out there. So I personally going to say lower because I don't know how much they're going to allow Rico Dowdle to play today.
There you have it, man. Underdog Fantasy Sports, my pick'ems for this week. Our final pick'ems of the season. Hit up Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code ATOZDALLAS. Let me tell you all this before we leave, which kickoff is happening at this second. Make sure, if you haven't, go subscribe to the new channel, Skywalker Still Unleashed. I have it pinned at the top. I'm going to talk about the halftime show. I'll talk about it on the postgame show as well. But make sure I head on over there. We're going to keep this thing rocking starting tomorrow morning.